Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Back to School information session. A little housekeeping before we get started. By now, most of us are familiar with webinar etiquette, but we still like to remind the audience of a few important items. Please mute your microphone during the presentation. You're welcome to leave your camera on or off. And for optimal viewing, we recommend that you choose the side-by-side view. You can find this by scrolling your mouse over the upper right corner of your screen. We encourage the audience participation, so please open the chat box to type your questions. You will have an opportunity during Q&A portion of the presentation to unmute yourself and ask questions. And now, please turn your attention to my colleague and friend, Senior Associate Director, Thomas Bosman.
Thank you, Leanne. Welcome everyone to this afternoon's Back to School night or Back to School webinar for those students in our school business that will be starting with us in the April-May timeframe. As Leanne said, my name is Tom. I'm a Senior Associate Director of Enrollment with the University of Redlands, and joining me this afternoon are a number of my colleagues who will be presenting on their areas of expertise. And let me preface this by letting you know that all the information that's going to be covered in this presentation is available on our Back to School webpage, and a link to that, which will be provided in here, but was also emailed to you after you registered for this, the Back to School webinar. So it's a great resource page. I strongly recommend that you bookmark it so you have it to refer back to, as it provides tremendous information on all the resources and opportunities that are available to you as a University of Redlands student. So let's take a look at the agenda for today. So we'll be going through talking about the different departments and the resources, opportunities available to you as a student. So without any further ado, let's get started. And I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Convi, to talk about the Office of Student Success.
Thank you, Tom. Welcome, everyone, to the School of Business. Our Student Success team is looking forward to working with all of you throughout your academic journey. So please look out for our email communication inviting you to schedule a new student advising appointment after the first couple of weeks of your first course. My name is Convi Philadelphia, and on behalf of the Student Success team, welcome to the School of Business. As you begin your journey at Redlands, we are all here to support your quest for personal and professional growth. In my function as the Assistant Director of Student Success, I will work alongside you as an academic advisor to provide advising assistance over the duration of your degree program. We're available to answer any questions you have about your degree completion plan, scheduling, classes, tutoring, disability services, academic accommodations, and commencement eligibility. Our goal is to help you learn, develop, activate, and launch your academic, personal, and professional development for the future. While the principal responsibility for academic success lies with the individual student, we're here to help you take the initiative to create opportunities for your future success. If you can go on to the next slide. In the next few weeks, you'll gain access to the School of Business Online Advising Center in Moodle. The Advising Center is a great resource for you to obtain information to enhance your success as a student, and it's available to you 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You'll find in the Online Advising Center in your Moodle portal to contain more information about available resources, registration information, events. About that. My apologies, sorry about that. We also provide information on upcoming workshops such as registration and commencement webinars. For more information on how to access that information, we will provide more information about study abroad, announcements with important updates, especially as it comes to returning for fall semester, and any upcoming events that the school will be hosting. So I encourage you to explore it once you gain access to Moodle. It will just populate in your portal. And then I will go ahead and share my screen. Another tool that we have to aid in your success is program planners and the student checklist, which you would have received at the time of enrollment. So what I have up on my screen is the Bachelor's of Science in Business Program Planner. You should have received it at the time of enrollment, and if you have not, please feel free to reach out to your assigned advisor, and we'll be happy to provide you with a copy. This is a fillable form, so what you'll be able to do is fill in the section and the start dates of the courses that you're registered for, and then you'll get to plan out your future courses so that you can see what to take for each succeeding semester. In addition to the program planners, we also would provide you with a checklist, which is a roadmap for the duration of your program. So you'll want to refer back to this checklist as you continue throughout the program to see what your responsibilities are in terms of taking charge of your own education, what is required of you in order to ensure that you're eligible to register during every open registration, and to check in with your advisor to make sure that you are on track with your program so that you aren't given any surprises at the end of your program. So please go ahead and use this checklist to make sure that you are on track with your program. And if you ever have any questions, your academic advisor is your point of contact. And even if it's a question where you are unsure of who you should be speaking with, feel free to start with your advisor and they will be able to point you in the right direction, or the person who can assist you. So I'm going to go ahead and unshare my screen. And if we can go to the next slide, please, Tom. And I'd like to introduce my colleagues to you. Here are the other assistant directors of student success. We have Autumn McKiernan, Diana Guerrero, Harmony Carr, and Lily Demas, who is temporarily filling in for Marlene Lopez. We are assigned by campus and by programs. So please feel free to reach out to your assigned advisor. And if you are unsure of who that is, your best bet is to email this email at the bottom of the screen, sbstudentsuccess@redlands.edu, and we will be sure to connect you with your assigned advisor. If we can go to the next slide.
Hi, Convi. I'm sorry to interrupt. For the Marin campus, who's the contact? Oh, wait, here we go. We have it.
Yes. So right here, this is our assigned campuses as well as by program. So as you can see, most of the campuses are assigned one advisor. But if there is a second advisor, you're assigned by program. And again, I know this is a lot of information right here. You don't need to copy it down. If you want to know who your assigned advisor is, I would encourage you to email sbstudentsuccess@redlands.edu. And then you will be connected with your assigned advisor as soon as possible. And thank you for your time. I really look forward to meeting you and working with you throughout your journey. And I hope you have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Convi. So next we want to talk about the Office of Career and Professional Development. So this office provides a tremendous amount of resources available to not just current students, but alumni as well. So some of the services that we offer within this department are listed here. And you can book a session with a representative, a virtual session with a representative online by following the link here provided. So, if you just need help making some changes to your resume, cover letters. We provide that. Preparing for an interview. We do mock interviews, helping with job searching, finding resources, employer information, virtual sessions, and events. And speaking of events, we have a long list of events through this office that we provide. And I know some of these are going back in time a little bit, but just to give you an idea of the type of events that we do related to the professional development. So definitely in the next slide, you can go to the ocpd.redlands.edu webpage, and that page provides a comprehensive list of all these events. So you can keep up to date on what's upcoming and RSVP for those, any that you find that are applicable to your current career search and professional development. And then a couple other resource pages are available here, the Joint Handshake and Alumni Fire. And then there's links to our social media pages where you can stay up to date on upcoming events and announcements through this office. So I can't recommend taking advantage of these services that this office provides enough. I mean, this is really, really helpful. And I know a lot of our students are, you know, either at the early stages of their career or somewhere in a transition phase. So this office, please leverage the resources and opportunities available through this office as you move through your program and as an alumni as well. So now I want to turn it over to my colleague Janelle to talk about the resources available through our online library.
Hello, everyone. To our new students, on behalf of the Armacost Library, welcome to the University of Redlands. So my name is Janelle Juligay, and I am the subject librarian for accounting, business, and economics. 5 other faculty librarians specialize in areas of the social sciences, humanities, and physical and natural sciences taught on campus. And we are all here to help guide you in your research for your classes. You will be doing research during different assignments and different classes. And you should know that for this research, Google will probably not suffice in most cases. So you're going to be expected to engage with scholarship as well as news, trade, and statistical resources. And most of what you'll need to be successful can be found via the library website. So in order to quickly hone in on resources that will be most relevant to research on organizations and how they're managed and operate, you'll want to use the guide linked on the next slide. So this is the business research guide provided through the library website, and it's a tabbed guide that kind of calls out different moments in the research process. And what you'll find when you come to the library website is help from people like myself. So people who are familiar with doing research in your discipline and can kind of help guide you through the resources that are available. And then the resources themselves. You'll find articles from scholarly journals, news publications, and trade journals, as well as case studies, company and industry data, and analysis. And you'll also find required readings for your course in the form of course reserves, and maybe just by looking and seeing what you can find. So that's everything you can find, but there are 2 major things that you should know you can't find. Your textbooks need to be purchased through the bookstore or through some other online venue. And specifically, HBR case studies cannot be acquired through the library website. So that might sound like Greek to you right now, but that's okay. There will be a moment when that comes up on a syllabus, and just remember me telling you that. But for the most part, if you're looking for something, we can get it for you. We either have direct access, leased access, or we can get it for you through interlibrary loan. And what you need to know if you're going to kind of try to do searching on your own is that your My Redlands ID and password function as your library ID and password. So if you wanted to start checking out resources, feel free, and then you'll need to kind of log in with that information. And I will leave it kind of short and sweet at that. And please contact me as you find yourself needing to access resources in your classes. Thank you.
Thank you, Janelle. And the next stop on the tour is my colleague, Dr. Allison Freyberg.
Thanks, Tom. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the University of Redlands. And just want to say that Janelle and I work quite closely together, and I'll show you a couple of ways that we do. But just for introduction, I'll just have a few minutes of your time to introduce you to a couple of things, give you a little idea of what you can expect from our end on the faculty side. I'm Allison Freyberg. I am Professor of Communication and Cultural Studies in the School of Business. I'm actually a founding member of the School of Business. Actually, I predate the School of Business. So I've been at Redlands since 1996 in a full-time faculty role, and have worked that entire time with business students and School of Business students. So I have a lot of stories to tell, and I hope I get to tell you them all over time. Next slide, please, Tom. But today I'm going to tell you about a couple things. Number one is the Writing Lounge, which I launched actually a year ago. Today was the first announcement of the Writing Lounge, and this was in response to our going remote from the pandemic. And oh, look, don't forget you can share reactions. We all love reactions on WebEx, right? Uh, so the Writing Lounge started again because I was giving communication workshops. I teach in the MSOL and I teach in the undergraduate program and other graduate programs. I'm also the Associate Director of International Programs. So I will take a moment here to tell you that while we are grounded right now in terms of our study abroad opportunities, obviously, I have been working all this week on getting our slides ready to show you what we have in store when we can get going again. For now, know that we provide 8 to 14-day study abroad opportunities for you that you can substitute for classes. Your student success advisors will be able to help you with the details of that, and you can always chat to me about study abroad. And if you want those FAQs, we'll be sending them out to the assistant directors of student success, your advisors, and you can always just find me. Above all, find me. If people are posting stuff, if Leanne, you post, find me on LinkedIn. I'll tell you everything. But back to the Writing Lounge. Uh, we some of you might have been out of school for a while. Some of you might be in graduate programs where there are no communication foundations, but we are a school that believes in communication. And so we have this opportunity. It's just a webinar series, and every 2 weeks we come hang out at lunch. We share what snacks we're having. We show our pets as usual, and I present on a specific topic and give you 3 to 5 strategies for excelling in that area. So here are some of the topics we've come up with, and it's just no registration. You just drop in. And I record those, and everyone gets a learning guide after those. So if you can go to the next slide, I can say that our next Writing Lounge is going to be on quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing. And the one after that will actually be on how to avoid plagiarism and all that. So it's Using Sources Month in April. Come on by. We'll show you a lot of ways to just make sure you're good at this stuff. Okay, and for example, Janelle also comes by several times during the year and does a library orientation in the Writing Lounge. It's just a great space to do all that stuff you need to do, but tends not to get covered in courses. So we hope you feel it's a safe space and it's a good space and it's a relaxing space that you can just come by the lounge. Okay, there's my email in the chat. I'm going to post some other, I have some study abroad stuff I'm going to post in the chat if it works. And it did not. There we go. That you can go look at. So there's lots of links for you. Sorry, I just spammed the chat. Uh, and I'll take one more slide and tell you just a little bit about what it's like to be in class here. And I know some of you who are here have been in classes already. Um, I like to think of our School of Business as a school of business that focuses not only on the obvious stuff we do in business, but on those more long skills. I call them long skills. They're skills we're always going to be using, like being analytical, being ethical, how to be persuasive, how to think of things in terms of social impact, how to be entrepreneurial, how to be global. By the way, the best way to be global is to come on and study abroad with us. Um, but wait, there's more. Uh, anyway, I want you to think of these as these skills that will help you throughout your life, certainly professionally, but throughout your life. That's what we're interested in as a small liberal arts university, founded on these long skills. And I will say as well, think about it this way. You're Bulldog now, okay? We really do mean that we want you to have a personalized education. I'm still in contact with students from 20 years ago. There are people who have been on trips with me for our study abroad, because you can do it as an alum, 4 or 5 times from 10 years ago, and they just keep coming back. So I'm introducing you now to me as your professor, but I am your Bulldog contact for life, and we really mean that. So welcome aboard, and with that, I will turn it over to Tom.
Great, thank you, Allison. So next I'd like to introduce my colleague, Angie, and we have her here live. So I'm not going to show you a video. We're actually going to have Angie here to give you a live demonstration on our learning management software, Moodle. And that is Moodle with an M. It's not Noodle. So Moodle. Angie, all yours.
Thank you, Tom. So yes, everyone, welcome to the School of Business. I am also a student and an alum. So you have great resources for you, from your peers to the colleagues here on this call. And today I'd like to just introduce myself. I'm Angie Bynan, and I'm broadcasting from our Marin campus in the Bay Area. What is Moodle? Moodle is an open source learning management system, as Tom had mentioned. What does that mean for you? Well, it means that this is where all your courses live and everything related to your courses. I'd like to share my screen with you to give you a snapshot of Moodle. So we go to the main Redlands page. So this is how you find Moodle. If you haven't yet, registration's open right now. If you haven't gotten your login and password yet, because you were just admitted, that's absolutely fine. Don't worry, we got you covered. Just, this takes time. Your Moodle access will probably take, anywhere from 5 to 10 days after you've registered. I'm sorry, not registered, but after you've been admitted. So once you have your credentials, you'll go into redlands.edu. Okay, and once you hit .edu, move this little box out of the way. Sorry guys, there you go. I scroll all the way to the bottom of the screen. There's a lot of information here. You scroll all the way to the bottom, and why this is important is because it gets you to My Redlands. Okay, so this is where I find My Redlands, at the bottom of the page. You see it got me directly into My Redlands portal without asking for credentials, and that's because earlier today I've logged in, and so it remembers me from earlier today. For you, it will prompt you with a login and password, and so you'll put in your login and password and you'll come into My Redlands portal. You'll see your name, your image, your photo if you decide to upload your photo, And then your screen may look a little different than mine. Your icons might have just a few. Here I have pinned Moodle already. And if you're not finding Moodle, you just hit the More button and you'll be able to see more of the icons. So I'll click Moodle. It'll get me directly to my Moodle site. On the left-hand corner here, if you're not seeing this dashboard, then above here, the little hamburger menu, you can click on that, you can close it and open it. So we're on the dashboard. You can customize this dashboard view. You can see course overview, and I'll show you how you can customize this. You can do it right here, customize this page. You can do it right here in this little card. I'm a visual person, so I really like the boxes where you can see the courses. Or if you'd like a list view, you can just select list and you can see the progress of the course. Again, yours will look different. You'll have different courses in here. I'm in a different program. And of course, I have different permissions. Or you can do a summary. I like this one as well because it gives you a summary, a little blurb about what that course is all about. But let me go back to my little card because I do like this. So before we get into the course, to show you the shell of it, the interior, I'd like to bring your attention here to this little, the name, the picture, and that little carrot. This is all one link. So if you click on this link, it'll get you, again, you can go dashboard, profile, grades, messages, preferences. So I highly recommend that you upload a photo into your Moodle, especially when we're on these synchronous sessions and you're online, you have this online portal. It's really nice to have your little picture, and I'll show you later why that's important. So you can click here on profile. Once you click profile, you can edit your profile right here. And I'll give you just general information. So this has already been pre-filled for me. If you want to put your town and country, fine, you can do that. You can see that I haven't done that. A little description about yourself, I haven't done that, but it's up to you. It's just how you customize. It's just for you. You can upload a picture. I already have my picture on here, but you can upload a new picture by clicking this little paper icon with the little earmark. So I would add, choose file. And everyone's pretty much done this before, right? You just upload, and then here's my A/B cropped photo. I would open it. I'm not going to go through it, but I'm just showing you how you guys can do it. And then you would upload this file, and boom, you'd have your photo uploaded. So that's how you customize your Moodle. Then I'm going to bring your attention back to the dashboard, and we're going to enter one of the courses. So in Moodle, you'll have your first course, and you'll see an orientation, your program orientation. You can see here that my program orientation was completed, but this is where you find it. You can also find your onboarding assessment here, which I believe it's this one here. Some courses like the MSBA will not have an assessment, your Peregrine, for the MSBA. For the other programs, yes, so you'll see it here in Moodle. But let's take you into a course. So let's say that you're starting with your course. You'll see the title of the course at the top, so you know which course you're in. And then the instructor will provide you announcements. So this is nice. You'll see everything here. 8-week courses. You have an announcement. The instructor likes for us to introduce ourselves, and that's where the video comes in. You can actually upload a video. I'll show you in a little bit. You can see the presentations, the PowerPoint presentations for this. You can see everything for session 1, the graded assignments. So this is where all of your tools or all of your course content will live. The nice thing is that, from here you can do the asynchronous, where you can do that self-paced learning. Like lesson 1, introduction, what is business analytics? The instructor will have us watch YouTube videos, meaning TED Talks on the particular topic that we're discussing that week. The other thing that I really want you to pay attention to is the discussion board. So right here, the instructor, Professor Rama, was asking the class why analytics. So I'm in the analytics program. So the discussion board is that he poses a question, and then we as the group will comment on the thread. So I can add here a new discussion topic, or let me just go back. He had asked that we start not a new thread, but continue this thread. So you can see here down at the bottom, my instructor Rama started a thread. When I click on it, the question is why analytics? And then you can see my response. I hit reply. Here's the little photo of me. So if someone in my cohort in my class is looking at the photo, you know, sometimes you'll see like this right here. If you don't upload your photo, we really like to see your face. We do. It's a great way to connect. So anyway, this is one other key element of Moodle is this discussion thread, and you'll be in here constantly. So we're going to come out of here and bring you back to the actual course. And I just want to just keep showing you session 2. You can see session 3, so on and so on and so on. Okay. And then on this right-hand corner here, right on the right side, you'll see all these little check boxes. I'm just scrolling up really fast. Your progress. Well, this is for you. You know, you can see it says help with completion tick boxes. I don't like using ticks because I have dogs. So ticks mean bad news for me. So I just like to say check boxes. And you can check your progress. Introduce yourself. I can make this check. I like that because it's progressive and I can see the work that I've completed in Moodle, and you can see all the little check boxes on the side. So the check boxes are in every single one of your courses. I can also bring your attention back to this left side of the screen where you can see participants. This is everyone that's in your course. And I can, if I wanted to connect with Geeta, I can click on her and message her. Although a lot of the times in the cohort, in the classes, you'll build relationships and friendships and you'll use your smartphone to connect with the students, especially if you're doing group work. So many ways to use this. You can see competencies here. I rarely go in here. Grades. Well, if I click on this, you'll see my grades and I don't want to do that. But we're doing good. You can see your grades. The grades, it's really nice because you can see the grades each week. You can see how your assignments are doing. And then also, you know, you share information, feedback with your instructor, and then you can improve your grade if that's the case. But back to the dashboard, you can see this overview. Most important thing for you guys as students is really just the course overview. There's other things. If you scroll down, you can see recently accessed courses. So you can see the two that, this one that I was just in, competing with analytics. Also, Moodle has provided their own tutorial on Moodle 3.9, which is their newest version that just got launched. You can see a calendar of events, upcoming events, timeline. So there's lots of things you can do in Moodle. And then I believe I've covered everything that I wanted you guys to see. If, you know, if you're like just taking notes, don't worry about doing that. As I mentioned earlier, all these resources, these tutorials will be available to you. So I wish you all the best. We're here to support you all the way, and we are here to see you succeed. And with that, I wish you, again, all the best and have a great rest of your day. And I'll turn it over back to Tom.
Thank you, Angie. That was a great comprehensive tutorial. And Leanne also shared Angie's video tutorial in the chat box. So you can go back and watch Angie's great run through of the Moodle site on YouTube as well. So thank you, Angie, for taking the time to do that for us in person. And as we move through here, I want to take a moment to talk about our campus services team. Now, obviously, all of our courses are meeting online and have been for some time now. However, we are hoping and planning to start resuming in-person courses again, or have that option available to our students starting in the fall. So our campus services team provides a number of different forms of assistance to our students. So their support the activities and events that we do, not just on campus when we do return to the campus, but also the virtual activities and events. They provide support in many different areas to our faculty and our students. So if you just don't know where to go for assistance in a certain area, our campus services team is there to help guide you. And then also, as we get closer to the reopening our campuses. They'll be following up with the students who do want to return to the classroom when that's available, just to provide, basic FAQs about that specific campus, any parking restrictions, hours of operation for the campus, just, all the ins and outs that you would need to know about the campus. But there's a good chance that even between now and that time, you will receive some type of outreach, whether by phone or email, from one of the members of this services team, because they do also provide support for our student success team that Combi had described earlier. So if it's just helping you schedule an appointment with the your student success advisor, they may be reaching out to you. If there's anything that may require your attention or action as a student, you could likely expect to receive an outreach from your designated campus services team member. So I know not all the campuses are currently reflected on this list, but by the time we get to returning to the campus, we will be having a representative reflected at each location. So we have University School of Business has two main honors and leadership societies or clubs. So the first one, Delta Mu Delta, is an academic-based honor society. So to put it plain and simple, it's GPA-based. So if you meet a certain GPA threshold after accumulating so many credits, you would be eligible to become a Delta Mu Delta member. And then we have the Whitehead Leadership Society, which is an honor society for leaders both in the classroom and in the community. So it's a way of honoring and recognizing those leaders. And both of these are lifetime memberships. I don't believe there's any fees involved, certainly not for the Whitehead Leadership Society, and I don't believe there is one for Delta Mu Delta, but definitely keep an eye out. You can read more about these on our school business webpage. So I encourage you to take a look at these opportunities. So student financial services. So I know this is not the most exciting topic that we have, but certainly one that I think causes the most anxiety and most questions, I think. So I do want to take some time to talk about this so everybody feels comfortable moving forward in how tuition and fees are billed, how financial aid works, just a breakdown, who to contact with questions, and all the resources that are available to you through this Student Financial Services Office. So I would say that the four main things that the Office of Student Financial Services, or SFS, you may hear that acronym a lot as you move through the program. So first and foremost, financial aid. So that financial aid encompasses loans, student loans, and or grant money. Also, they handle all the billing and provide payment options, financial literacy, and loan counseling as well. If you have questions about student loans before accepting the offer, they're here to provide counseling in that area. So if you have questions about how the payback options on the loans, those type of questions, they can provide counseling on that. But the webpage, the Student Financial Services webpage, provides really detailed information on all those areas, from the whole life cycle of applying for financial aid all the way through the payback period options. So it gives tremendous details on that whole life cycle. So if you haven't already taken a look at that page, I strongly encourage you to do so. And then once you have accepted your offer of admission and become a matriculated student at the University of Redlands, you'll receive a student ID or Redlands ID and password, which allows you to log into your My Redlands portal and the Moodle site that Angie had just gone through, as well as your online self-service portal. So there's a link there. So within this portal, you can review the status of your financial aid. You can see access links to any outstanding items. So if there's something outstanding that you need to do in order to get your student loan, that'll be listed within that portal. You can review your award letter for the student loan. That will be available in there. You can review your bill, print off statements. You can make payments, enroll into a payment plan. So it's a pretty all-encompassing site that you can access there. So also check your Redlands email. So another thing that your Redlands ID and password will enable you to do is access your Redlands email, which you can do through also your My Redlands student portal. So award letters, for instance, for financial aid, notifications and updates will be going to your Redlands email, not to your personal email address. So there's two main contacts in our Student Financial Services office. There is Diana Resendez and Cheryl Mata, and your designated coordinator is based on the first letter of your last name. So it's an alpha split. Last name starting A through J is Diana, and those who have last names starting L through Z is Cheryl. And then, so as far as billing, if your enrollment representative who you've been working with up to this point has not provided you a financial aid estimator yet, and you are planning to use financial aid, I would go back and request one from them, because that financial aid estimator will break down each billing period, what your expected tuition and fees will be, and then what your estimated student loan eligibility will be, and then what's left over, whether it's a credit, whether there's extra estimated loan money left over, or if the expected loan does not cover the full tuition fees, what is left over as far as payment that you would need to make out of pocket. So what's nice is our billing is aligned with how student loans are dispersed. So it's done 3 times a year. There's a fall, spring, and summer billing period. So fall is September through December. Spring is January through April, and then summer is May through August. So any courses that are taken between those periods is what's billed, but that is exactly how student loans are dispersed. They're done 3 times a year over that same time frame of fall, spring, and summer. So it all aligns. And your tuition and fees are due 30 days after the start of that term. So we are going into the beginning of the summer 2021 term. So that's when you're all expected to be starting. So you'll be starting at the beginning of our summer term. And if you have your financial aid all set up, you will see that will come in and deduct what is on your tuition and fees. So again, the financial aid estimator is a nice tool. If you haven't received that already and gone through that, I would follow up with your enrollment representative on that. And the financial aid estimator does factor in any tuition reductions that you may be eligible for. The one thing that it does not factor in is grant money. So it just gives an estimate on student loans. So the grant money, that would be, your eligibility for that would be outlined in your financial aid award letter. Okay, I want to take a moment to talk about our racial equity resources, which includes access to information about established programs and in-progress initiatives that we have here at the University of Redlands. So there are some links here on the page, which will also, they're also included on the Back to School webpage, and we'll input these here into the chat as well. So Dr. Christopher Jones is our Senior Diversity Inclusion Officer at the University of Redlands. So he oversees all these programs, these initiatives, which are outlined in great detail on these web pages. So going to like the resources page in the FAQs, gives comprehensive information on our policies, practices, and organizational changes with respect to racial equity, training and collaborative partnership initiatives and new programs and events. And then the FAQ link provides details to the 23 most common questions about diversity, equity, and inclusion here at the University of Redlands. And then I also want to take a moment to recognize our Black Student Faculty, Staff, and Administrators Association. And they're committed to representing the diverse lived experiences of the Black community at University of Redlands. So I encourage you to take a look. You can follow them on Twitter, Instagram, and Linktree, and that's under the For More Information header there on the bottom. And new program and events as well. So this is housed within the Racial Equity Resources webpage, this association. Veteran and military services. So I want to take a moment to recognize anyone in attendance today that is either a current or former military service member, or if you have a loved one that is a military or veteran, former or current service member. So thank you for your service or your loved one's service. We take great pride in being a military-friendly institution, and that takes on a number of different forms, whether it's providing financial benefits, services, resources, et cetera. So the director of our Military and Veteran Services Office is Monique Pope. She is a veteran herself, and she would be your go-to person if you are utilizing, whether it's tuition assistance through the military or GI Bill benefits. So when you went through the application process with us, and if you've identified as being affiliated with the military, you would have received an outreach email from from the Military and Veteran Services Office in order to utilize any benefits, how to go about utilizing benefits that you may have through the military or the VA. So this just goes into, talks a little bit about what kind of services this office provides. You can get much more comprehensive information if you go to our redlands.edu/military website. Technology services. So if you need support with Moodle, tech support, WebEx support, so Moodle is what Angie had just done a tutorial on. So there's a link there and an email for support. WebEx is the platform we're using right now. It's the University of Redlands virtual platform. So while you are taking your coursework in an online format, WebEx is the platform that you'll be using. And as a student, you'll have your own WebEx page or account essentially that you can utilize. So you can access that through the My Redlands student portal. When you log in there, you'll see all these different icons of the different software and so forth that you can use. Moodle, your Redlands email, WebEx. So you'll see an icon there where you'll be able to schedule meetings if you want through WebEx with your classmates or so forth. So any questions or support that you need, there's a link there for the WebEx. And ResNet stands for Residential Network. It's the best place to start with any technical related questions. So for example, when we do return to the campus, if you have any difficulty getting connected to our wireless network, ResNet is the place to reach out to. Also, ResNet provides the following software to all of our University of Redlands students if you wish to take advantage of this. We have Microsoft Office 365 and for both Windows and Mac. And then also we offer a Somatic Enterprise Protection Antivirus software. So those are free. Those are complimentary to our students. And that is available through our through ResNet. So student app and ID. I encourage you all to download the University of Redlands app. I'm sure your phone or tablet is already filled with apps like mine is, but this is a great app if you need to log in or access a ID card online through your phone and you're not at your computer, checking email, whatnot. Download the app and you can log in and get access to all the resources through that portal. We're the only University of Redlands out there, so you just punch in Redlands in the App Store or Google Play, it's going to come right up. So finding course materials. This can be a little tricky. It's not intuitive to go through our Redlands bookstore and find out what your required and recommended course materials are. So here's the Back to School webpage provides step-by-step how to access or get to this find course materials page, which I added a screenshot for. I've also included the direct link to this page to get to the Find Course Materials portal here. So even if you are an undergrad student, a Bachelor of Science in Business student, for the next term, it actually is going to be, when you do the drop-down menu option for the term there, it's actually April grad 2021. So again, I know it's not intuitive, but that's what you will choose. Sometimes going forward, it may just be a matter of, just you keep selecting the term that seems to be right until you find then the correct department that you need. So by department, that's the prefix to the course code. So for example, MBA students, you'll see some of your courses that are required will begin with BUAD. That's the prefix. So, and for the bachelor students, you're going to always see BUSB. And then also for graduate students, MGMT is a common prefix as well. So sometimes it's a matter of, if you don't have the right term selected, you're not going to see the correct prefixes. You'll be looking for BUAD or BUSB, and you're not going to see it there. So sometimes, like I said, it's just a matter of, by default, finding the right term until you find the right department codes that you need. So anyway, for the first, for your first course, you want to punch in April grad 2021 and go from there. The department, then the course number, and then the section code. Section means like location, even though we are location free for now since everything is online. So just follow what has been given on your degree plan when punching in this information. And then once you have that all filled out, you just click on Find Materials tab, and then it will show you the required and also recommended, if there's recommended course materials. Now, unless it's a custom text, and by custom I mean that it would be only available through our Redlands bookstore, you do not have to purchase the books through our bookstore. But this is the best method of at least finding what the required course materials are in advance. And this is posted at least 2 weeks before the first class session date. So if you haven't already gone in and checked, I encourage you to go and look for your first course. And the bookstore does provide options on renting the book if available, purchasing a electronic version, again, if that's available, new and used options. But again, unless it's a custom text, you can take the information, the book information that's listed, and go shop around on Amazon, Chegg. I know there's just a whole host of bookstores online where you can order books, but don't delay on this. You will hit the ground running in all of these courses because they're delivered over an 8-week accelerated semester. So there is always going to be some type of pre-assignment due the first night. It could just be some reading. It could be reading and a short paper or discussion board post. So it's critical to be prepared in advance and don't delay in ordering required course materials. Getting started again. So kind of the next steps to start doing as you start preparing for class. I mentioned this in the beginning, but bookmark the back to school webpage. And here's a screenshot of what the top of that page looks like. So you can see, I mean, those list of tabs there on the bottom half, that goes down considerably. I could only attach so much of the page, but you can see that if you click on any of those little carrots or arrows there, it'll give a drop down and provide more information on that subject. So again, bookmark this, utilize this page to learn more about each of the different resources and opportunities available to you, and use this kind of as a directory because it'll include hyperlinks to go to the pages for under each topic. Complete the Peregrine onboarding assessment. So if you have already received your login information and you've had a chance to log into your student service portal where you will plan and register for classes, and we're going to be doing a quick tutorial on that here shortly. You're going to see this Peregrine onboarding assessment. So that is required. You need to be doing that within your first 8 weeks of the program. And this does not impact your grade, your GPA. It's not graded. It's just assessing your skills and knowledge of the program that you're entering into on the front end. And then on the back end, when you finish, there's an outbound assessment as well. So we can compare your growth through the program. Also check the library resources that Janelle had talked about earlier, because that is a key resource to be utilizing as you move through the program. So what's next? We're going to talk about the registration, how to register through your student planning, and that will be done also 3 times a year, fall, spring, and summer. So the registration period opens for 2 weeks about a month before the start of that term. And during that 2-week period, you can go in and plan and register for your courses for that upcoming term. Official transcripts. So for those of you who maybe uploaded a transcript or multiple transcripts during the application process, but have not, we haven't received official copies of those yet, we do need those. So, and if those are not in by the end of your first term in the program, there will be a hold put on your registration for a future term. So you won't be able to register for future terms until we receive official copies of all your transcripts. And by official, we mean it has to be sent directly from the specific school to us. So even if you have a sealed copy in your hands and upload that, that is not considered official by us. So if you have any questions about that, please follow up with your enrollment advisor, counselor, so we can ensure that those get ordered if they haven't been already or haven't been received already. Check out the events tab on the back to school link to see for upcoming events, one of which I'm going to mention here in a moment. Make sure you order your required course materials. Log into your Moodle account. So instructors have to post their course information at least 2 weeks prior to the class start. So we're not at the 2-week mark yet of your first class. So you may have your login information already and you log in and you're all excited to check out Moodle and kind of look through it like Angie had given a tutorial on, and you don't see anything there. You don't see your first course, even though you've registered. Don't freak out. Doesn't mean anything's wrong. It's likely that the instructor just hasn't posted the course shell, as they call it, yet. So just be patient. At that 2-week mark, though, if you don't see anything, please reach out to your enrollment counselor to confirm that everything looks good and make sure that there's, nothing's missing there. When you do see your course appear in Moodle, make sure you print your syllabus, read through that, see what is due the first week of class. Like I said, you hit the ground running, so ensure that you're getting your course materials in time to do any pre-assignments, check for homework. And then lastly, you're only going to have to do this once, but you will have to do a check-in online your first week of class. So keep a lookout for an email that says, hey, let's get you checked in. It's going to come that first week of class. And once you've attended that first class session, you're going to follow the instructions in that email to check in. Now, this will be outlined in the email, but it's going to actually be, you're going to have to log in using the login information that you used for your application. It's the last time you'll ever have to use that login information. You only have to check in once, and then you're done for the entire program. But it's just a way of confirming, yes, I'm here, I've started the program, and you're off and running. So keep a lookout for that email and make sure that you check in your first week of class. So I'd mentioned we do the events page to check out on the back to school page, and one that's coming up next week, so actually a week from today, almost exactly, is a virtual presentation by one of our esteemed faculty members, Dr. Johannes Munoz, who is actually an instructor I had when I went through the Redlands MBA program. He's done a tremendous amount of research on the future of job automation, so artificial intelligence, how robots essentially are taking jobs, fulfilling functions that humans used to do. And I've seen him give this presentation in person twice now, and it's eye-opening. I can't recommend it enough. It's it's basically, he'll be breaking down what robots are already, I mean, they are here, they are already taking over jobs, and what the future looks like. Who's most affected, how to prepare accordingly when you are, moving forward in your career. So to RCP, there is the link right there, redlands.edu, Automated Future 2021. Again, it'll be about an hour next Wednesday, April 7th, and starts at 1 p.m. So can't recommend this enough. And I hope you will have the opportunity to register and join that event. So with that, I thank you all for your time. And I know we covered a lot of different areas, but again, all this information is essentially available on our webpage. So I encourage you to go and look through all those resources that we covered today, but want to take the opportunity for you to ask any questions before we move into the student planning tutorial. So you can ask your question in the chat box. You can unmute yourself. And if you think of a question later, so, oh, why didn't I ask this? Or you're looking through the resources, reach out to us, reach out to your enrollment counselor, and we'll be able to provide an answer to that question. No questions? Are we that good?
Yes, I feel like you guys were able to cover a lot in the hour span.
Yeah, and I talk fast too sometimes, so I apologize if I was going fast. I went to Starbucks this morning. Usually I get the smaller one, but I got the larger one, and sometimes that impacts how fast I talk. So I apologize if I was going fast.
No, it was
Please.
actually really good, and I feel like you guys helped out a lot more with like in the chat box, giving us all the links and the stuff like that.
Good, great, thank you.
And those links are also located on the landing page. So if it was much coming in, just reference to the landing page, or you can reach out to one of us and we can send you those specific links as well.
Yes. So whoever you've been working with up to this point, your main point of contact to help you through the application and admission process, they're going to stay your primary point of contact until you officially start classes. So between now and your first night of class, you can still reach out to your the person that you've been working with through your enrollment. And then once you start classes, your primary point of contact from that point through graduation will be your assigned assistant director of student success, which was covered in the beginning of the presentation. But during your first 8 weeks of class, that office will be reaching out to you to schedule an appointment, a initial consultation appointment to touch base and start that dialogue and that relationship. So, but from now until then, until classes start, please don't hesitate to reach out to your enrollment counselor with questions. Yes, and we are about to cover how to register for classes. So great segue. And for those of you who have already done this and feel comfortable with the registration process and how to do it, I can officially excuse you from the remainder of this presentation, but I'm going to turn it over now to my colleague Leanne to give a tutorial on this. And again, this is covered in the back to school homepage as well, the step-by-step process on how to do this. But we wanted to give an opportunity to do a live one as well, so we can do some live Q&A if questions come up. So Leanne, over to you. Am I driving?
You're driving or I can share. It's up to you.
Oh, I can do it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tom. My name is Leanne Gonzalez. I'm one of the assistant directors of enrollment. And I'm going to be covering the registration to help those that haven't registered yet. And again, if I go too fast, these same PowerPoint slides are going to be located in the landing page. So Tom, you can go to that next slide. So as Angie had mentioned and showed you guys, we have our dashboard. So once you have your email, if you haven't gotten it yet, I know that some of my students at least haven't submitted their decision reply form. The decision reply form is going to be located in your acceptance letter. So it's going to be where you, an update status in your application portal. So once you go to that letter, it has like the virtual confetti that comes down. In that letter, there's going to be a link below that shows decision reply form. Once you submit that decision reply form, that's when you'll receive your Redlands credentials, and you'll need those to access this portal and be able to register for your classes. So I just wanted to give that background information. So if you haven't done so already, you'll still have these steps for you, but you're going to need to sign that decision reply form to be able to take these next steps. Registration did open on Monday, March 29th, and it's going to be open until Friday, April 9th. So just keep that in mind. Again, as we go through this, if you need any assistance, you can contact your Assistant Director of Enrollment for questions. So once you get into the portal, you're going to see the self-service icon. You're going to go ahead and click that, and we're going to go into the next slide. Once you click that, you're going to see the student planning section, and you're going to click that and move forward. And here's your little calendar with your planned degree and registration for classes. So you're going to click on that button. And so here's where you're actually going to search for your course. So it's important to remember that when you're searching for your courses that you do not put any spaces. So for this Management 633, that is the course. And then the section is going to be that IR 503. I think that's a 5 or an S. I can't really see. But I wanted to take this time to let you know that go ahead and put the course number in, because the sections might change depending on if you received a schedule with the sections. You might have not received one, and that's okay. Since we are meeting virtually, you will actually have the flexibility to pick which day of the week you want to take that course. So it's important that you have that course number available. So when you go ahead, you can go to the next slide, Tom. So once you put your course number in, it's going to show view available sections, for example, Management 633. So you're going to click that button, and once you click that, go ahead, there you go. You're going to have, now this just shows one of the sections that you can take. But when you actually set your registration, you'll have a list of different dates that section might be available. So depending on which one you pick, you add that to your section to schedule. You click that button, and then this is going to show your course information. So you have not registered yet. You're just adding this section and you're planning your course. So it'll also give you details as far as a course description, and it'll have the dates and when you're taking your courses, so you make sure that you're picking the correct course. Once you pick the correct course, you're going to add that section to be planned. And then it's going to verify. So that red or that green check mark is saying that you're planned. And some students think that they're registered because they see that green and then they see the check mark, but you are not registered yet. So it shows that you're planned. Once you go back, you'll see back to plan and schedule, you'll hit that button. And now you'll see what I was, as far as what I was stating on you just planned your course. So it's going to be, I think it's like a brown shade. So to register, you have two options. You can hit that register button under that plan section, or you can do it in the right corner. Either way, you're going to register for that course. So you would click register. And this is what it's going to look like. So it's going to have the green button again, but it's going to be registered but not started. Now for this semester, most students should be registering for 2 courses. So you're not going to be taking 2 classes at once. It's going to be for the first term and then your second term. So you'll have a May term that you're registering for and then a June term. If you get confused or you're having assistant, you can register for it and then contact your assistant director of enrollment and they can check just to make sure that you registered for the correct courses. But you are registering. Anytime you register, you're going to register for the full semester. And to see the breakdown and make sure that you registered for the correct dates and time frame, you can go ahead and click the next one. You're going to have the plan and register, so you're going to know whether or not you did it correctly or not, because it should show the green. But on the next page, you can actually see the meeting information. And once you've clicked that, it'll actually show the dates of when you're going to be attending class and what day of the week you'll be attending class. So that's how you'll get your confirmation as far as knowing which courses you're registered for, because on the initial page, it shows the whole semester time frame. So you won't be taking it for that long. You're only going to be taking it for 8 weeks. And this is how you can verify by pushing down the meeting information, that button, and then the drop down box will then show you the time frame of when you'll be taking that class. And I just want to make sure, am I answering the questions? Remove that hold. Okay, so it sounds like Sue, you're answering. Thank you for that. There are some, so you're not taking 2 courses at once. I know that those are some common questions. And this will identify that you're not taking the 2 courses at once, but you are registering for both courses for the semester. And it'll also show you what time and day of the week that you're meeting for that class. Another question we get is those placement holders. So you will see, you'll have your 2 classes that you registered for, and then you'll also have placement holders that include your Peregrine assessment, which you'll need to take, as Tom mentioned, at least within that first semester. Your student success advisor will also remind you to take that Peregrine assessment. You know, 2 weeks in, they contact you and they'll make sure that you complete that in time as well. And the other placement holder, I believe, is for financial aid. So they're just placement holders. That's it. Don't be alarmed if you see 4 items located in your registration. And let me see. You also have the option to plan out your courses for the rest of your schedule. So you won't be able to register, but you can go through with those student planners that we provided and you can start planning out your courses if you'd like. You won't be able to register until that semester registration is open, but you will have the option to plan out those courses. I did go fairly quickly. Did you guys have any questions? And as far as my team, did I miss anything in regards to any critical information that the students might need while they're registering?
I think that was covered pretty much everything. I don't know if you mentioned that accounts receivable balance that shows up. I believe just in your first term of classes. So you'll see the courses that you plan and registered for, the Peregrine onboarding assessment, and then there's this accounts receivable that looks like you're enrolled into. That's not a course. It's just there really to confuse you. Look at it that way. So you don't have to do anything with it. You won't see it again after the first term. So the only things that you need to be concerned with is the courses that you will be taking during that term. And then also in the beginning, the Peregrine onboarding assessment.
Yeah, and I highly encourage you guys to take an attempt to try and do this on your own, because you're going to eventually have to, you know, get used to registering for these classes. And again, we can always check just to confirm that you've you've registered for the correct courses. And this layout, as far as the step-by-step process, is also located in the landing page.
Any other questions about student planning or any of the information we've covered? I want to thank everybody for taking the time to log in and go through the back to school presentation. I hope this was valuable to you. I wish you all the best of luck. We're excited to have you start with us at University of Redlands, or for those of you who are coming back for another degree, welcome back. It's great to have you back. And we'll all be cheering for you from, you know, some of us in the background, some of us you'll be, you know, working with more often as you move forward, but we're all here to support you. And we wish you all the best of luck in your educational journey here with us. So thank you.